Shit, okay. All right. So what's up, y'all? It's another one of that Kelzo gang, Say So TV episodes. As y'all see, I'm in the crib today. It's cold as fuck outside. It's snowing. It's been snowing all day. Can't believe it. I can't stand Colorado sometimes for that. Like snowing in the middle of April, at the end of April. But yeah, so let's get right to it. Today I want to talk about how I lost my virginity to a male and a female, well, both my virginities, because I feel like y'all really don't really know much about me. I be really on here on some giving free game and hold on. I kind of look at myself like like y'all know the movie Two Could Play That Game, like how Vivica was always putting up on her girls and like narrating the whole movie on game. I feel like I'm like the male black gay version of her to y'all. You know what I'm saying? So let's get right on into it. I'm doing this because, like I said, I don't really feel like y'all really know too much about me personally. Um, I'm always just giving game. So I'm gonna go ahead and make this video just so y'all can get to know me a little bit more. And we'll just start off with my first experiences sexually with a man and a woman, male and female. Because everybody knows I'm bisexual. If you don't by now, well, yes, I'm openly bisexual. And here we go. So I'm going to start with the girl first because, I mean, ladies first. But, oh, wait. Actually, I'm going to have to go with the dude first because I lost my virginity to a dude, to a boy first. And then I'd mess with a girl first 2 years later. So, here we go. So, for my very first time, my very first sexual encounter, it was with a friend of the family's son. It was my mom's boyfriend at the time, his cousin's son. And basically, I was 13 years old. I remember the first time I met him, I was actually in the shower and I got out of the shower and I went into my room. Well, him and his brother was already in my room waiting on me. I guess they told them to go to my room to wait on me while the adults was in the living room. So I go in there with just my towel, and they was in there. They was just cool. Like it was just really like on some like some friend shit. We was just talking. Then I got dressed. We started playing the game. Whoop de woo. So about a year later, basically they used to, after that, once we became real cool, they started to swap us out every summer, where one summer he would come to my crib, because this is when I lived in Kansas. For all y'all that don't know, I am originally from Kansas. Hold on. All right, y'all, my bad. So I had to do this video in two different areas because Bay came to the crib, or I had to go scoop him up, and I personally don't like making my videos around no fucking body. Like, I don't give a fuck. Call me introverted as fuck. I don't know, but I don't want nobody in the other room, nothing. I want to have a whole crib to myself if I'm making a video. You know what I'm saying? Plus, this one is like, on some past deeper shit to me. So yeah, I just wanted some privacy, so I went ahead and came out to the whip. So anyway, like I was saying, I be usually on some old like, you know, relationship guru ass nigga type shit. You know, Vivica A. Fox and two can play that game, black male version of her, and well, male bisexual version of her. You know what I'm saying? LGBT version of her, whatever you want to call it. And so I don't really feel like y'all really know too much about me, and I have been requested to make that kind of video. So here y'all go. So like I said, I already told y'all about how when I first met the dude that I lost my virginity to, and basically they would swap us out on the summers. I would go spend one summer with him and his people in Wichita, and then he would spend the summer with me, uh, with my family. So basically, he's a couple years older than me, and I was 13 at the time. Hold on. But yeah, so like I said, I'm a early bloomer. I guess I would consider myself that. I did it at 13. He was about 15 or 16 at the time, and basically one of them summers when it was the summer when he was with me and my peoples, and I had the whole basement to myself. I had a room and I had the whole basement to myself. So basically, shit, my mom and stepdad, they really was just kind of like they they would leave us alone all the time. I was always just by myself, like, you know what I'm saying, unless we was actually doing something or like a family event or like dinner or something. But like for the most part, like me and this nigga be riding the bikes around the hood, going swimming, like all kind of shit, you know, teenagers do. And one day he had just came at me like, he was always kind of like throwing little flirt jabs at me, but I didn't really catch on to him because I was just thinking that he was just playing like on some, you know how they do it in high school when dudes be playing with you and on some gay shit, but they really just be playing or whatever. Well, that's why I don't know if they was really playing or not, because this nigga did come on to me in that kind of form. But I just would always like, you know, throw it off and just joke about it or whatever. And one day he just was like, we was riding the bikes and we had stopped in front of one of the homies' houses or somewhere in the neighborhood just to take a break, drink some water or whatever. And he was just like, he was like, so like, we should try, you know, we should try something. And I was like, what you mean try something? He was like, we should, you know, try to, we should have sex or something like that. And I was just like, what you mean? Like, nah, bro. Like, what are you talking about? Like, you know, and he was just like, yeah, we should. And I was like, well, I don't know. Like, I just was like, nah, fuck that. And just kept it moving. Like later on down the line, so it took about a good month to get me to do it. Like it took a good month to turn me out. Like I wasn't just going, like I wasn't with the gay shit. I didn't even really know what my sexuality was, but I knew I was attracted to girls though. But I just never had acted on it, you know, on anything. I was a virgin. So he was the type of thug little dude where we would just be riding around and he'll want to like steal bikes out of people's yard and just like do random crazy shit. So like he would always kind of like guide and like make me do shit. And we like just some badass little niggas. And I just was like on some, I was more innocent and more like just chill. And I was spoiled growing up, so I wasn't really like the out in the hood doing fuck shit and all that. But he was. So he was like basically like the aggressor in the situation. And he had came at me again. He kind of kept coming at me. And then one day he finally was just like, he was like, yeah, so what's up? Are we going to do it? Like, are we going to do what we was talking about? And I was like, man, I don't know. Like, he kept being persistent to where I would just be like, I went from no to I don't know to then all of a sudden I started getting curious about it to where I even started looking up at porn on my computer and shit. Gay porn sites and shit. And I got curious, and then all of a sudden, one day he was just like, yeah, so what's up? Like, we should try that today or whatever. And I was like, all right, cool. Like, I'm with it. And so I remember he was like, so what you want to do? He was like, he was like, you gonna let me do you or you want to do me? And immediately I was just like, yeah, I was like, I'll do you. Like, immediately I was a top, y'all. Like, I was just like, nah, I ain't with that shit. You ain't fucking me. Like, but I'll stick it in you and try it or whatever. And so he was like, okay, cool. So he was like, all right, well, let's do that tonight. Like, we was out riding the bikes again, or we was out swimming or something. And I was just like, he was like, all right, well, let's do that tonight then. And I was like, all right, cool. And so the day goes by, we get to the house, and we was playing the game. We was playing the game at the foot of my bed on the floor, and we was like, right in front of my bed, in front of the TV, playing the original Xbox, by the way. And he just had stopped in the middle of it after one of the matches or whatever, and looked over at me and was like, "So you ready?" And I was just like, "Yeah." And we get on the bed, and he gets under the covers. Like, he puts me on the bed, he gets under the covers, and he starts sucking me up. Like, he was under the covers sucking me up. And the shit felt good at the time, from what I remember. And I remember the position that I stuck it in him at was, I had a chair that was to my computer desk chair, and I put him in, like, he had got in that, he had sat in it, like, with, like, against the back of it, with his, like how they do, with his ass out over the armrest. And that's the original position I had. That's my first position I fucked in a damn office chair. And I just, like, I stuck it in, I started doing it, and I mean, it just came so natural to me, y'all. I'm not even gonna cap. Like, there was no complications. It was like so perfect. I know I did it, and I moved him from that. We went from that to the bed, to on the floor, to everywhere in the fucking room. Like, I fucked this nigga everywhere. And it was fun, so after that we just kept doing it. And throughout the summer, like, and we, like I said, he was staying with me, and we were already sharing the room and everything, so it was just like every night we would go in the room after that and get it in while my mom and it was upstairs and shit. Didn't even know what we was down there doing, like. And I remember every summer when he would leave, like at the end of every summer when the school year would start, I would hate when the school year would start, because then he would leave, and then I would do my year, and then right after that, when the summer came, I would be so geeked for the summer, because that's when I knew he was coming, and then I was, or I was going to go there, and then we was going to do that. And then, like, when I went there, the next summer when I went there, it was the same. But then that summer, I remember he was like, and this is before, like, social media was like that and everything. There was no social media and stuff like that. This was like around 2006, 2007, 2008 era. And so we wouldn't basically talk all summer. and I would just, miss him or whatever. But that next summer when I had went out there, he was on some different shit, like on some more, because he was like 17, 18 around this time. I'm still like 15, 16 or whatever. And he was a big Allen Iverson fan. That's one main thing I do remember. He had Allen Iverson all around his wall, and he always liked his shoes, and he always had all the Iversons, and like he was a baller. Like he liked to play basketball. So that's why on my thumbnail, if y'all see, um, I'll put them on here because these is not the people I lost my virginity to, but these are the people that these is what they look like. They look just like them. Like he had that whole like caramel complexion with the afro, the good hair, and the nice ass booty. Like he was a basketball player. And then the female, she looked like that as well, but I'll get there. So anyway, um, he was a thug too, like for real. And this time when I went out in that summer, he was just like, yeah, I ain't you. Like he was trying to act like he wasn't with the gay shit. I was on the phone with this girl because I was like actually talking to a girl at this time, and I was on the phone with her, and we used to always be on the phone. So like I was just like chilling in the car when we used to get in our mom's cars and shit and just talk and pop shit, smoke. Like no, not smoke. We wasn't smoking, but we would just like talk shit or whatever, act like we was grown driving the cars and shit. And so he was just trying to act like he was straight and shit, like acting like, yeah, I only fuck with bitches and all this other shit and all that. So I'm like, all right, cool. Like I'm thinking he ain't with the gay shit. He ain't with trying to fuck around no more. He act like he forgot about all of it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, all right, whatever. And so I'm on the phone with my girl, and he started like talking about like get off the phone with her and shit. And I'm just like, what you mean? Like he's like, yeah, get off the phone with her. Like, and I'm like, bro, like, chill. And he just became like hella, like he was hella aggressive and shit, and like to the point where like I wouldn't get off the phone with her. And he was like getting ready to like tell her like he was like he don't like girls, he like dudes, like he like me, like and shit like that, like weird shit. And I'm just like, oh, hold up, like dude, hold up, like so I was like get off the phone with her real quick. And then like I just be like, what's up with that? He be like, nah, nigga, like I told you to get off the phone with her. And I'm like, all right. And so damn, this is crazy. Like when I remember this and I'm looking back and I'm like, damn, this is exactly why I'm attracted to masculine aggressive bottoms. Like, damn, it all makes sense now. Like your first really does set the tone for your type. That's crazy. And so anyway, I'm just like, all right. And then like, he'll have me do whatever he wanna do and shit. And then we'll go in the crib at night, and then what he would start to do, because he didn't want to like say that he wanted to have sex, he would just like when we would be laying in the bed, he'll just like scoot his butt back on me, like, and do like this. And I'll just be laying there like, what does that mean? Like, and like he would keep doing it, and then like, finally I caught on, and like I would just start like, taking control and shit. So yeah, I was fucking him in his people's house in Wichita, fucking him my crib. So then all of a sudden, one summer came. It was the summer of my like 16. I was like 16 that summer, and all of a sudden like there was no Frank coming around. And I was just like, I was asking my mom, I was like, so is Frank still coming this summer? And she was just like, nah. He got caught up and he's in juvie, or he's in, basically he was in jail or whatever. And I was like, what do you mean he's in jail? Like I was pissed. Like that was the most saddest summer of like one of my teen years. Like I was so sad. Like what the fuck? And so some time went on. His mom ended up getting married, and then I went down there. We all went down there to for her wedding and shit. And I'm thinking I'm gonna see him. I'm all geeked to see him because I hadn't seen him in like a couple years. I was probably like 18 by this time, and he just was nowhere to be around. I asked about him. His mom was like, "Nah, he's in jail for robbing some place and some shit. Like, he was a thug, y'all. Like, so this nigga ended up going to jail. And so I was just kicking it with his brothers, and then like his aunt, his girlfriend, one of the girls that he was fucking with, like was always around the family, was around their family, so I was around her as well. So like she would be talking to me about him and shit, and I'm just like, wow, like this is crazy, like this is crazy. And I just didn't know if he was like still, if he like dudes or not still or what. But like all of a sudden, y'all, he had got out of jail, and this nigga had like, as soon as he got out of jail, this nigga had like got 3 bitches pregnant. So this nigga had like 3 baby mamas like his first year out of jail. And then finally, like a couple years after that, he had hit me up on Facebook and was just like, "What's up? What you been up to?" And we started talking and all that. And like he would just be like throwing little flirts at me still. Um, like don't, like, hey, be safe out there. Don't do nothing I wouldn't do. And like, I can't wait to see you and all this other shit like that. And all I remember the last time I did see him though was I had pissed him off. Like he was hella like dominant. Like he was crazy, y'all. Like this nigga would always like whenever I would do something he didn't like or whenever. Oh, let me tell y'all though, just to rewind a little bit. After I had took his virginity, after we had sex, after we took each other's virginity, I'll put it that way, that very summer, we was riding bikes, and then like the homie like would always like, we would either like, I had pegs on both of my bikes, so I had them on pegs on the front and on the back. So sometimes he would like ride on my pegs instead of us taking 2 bikes. He would ride on my pegs, or I would ride on the pegs, and we would go like around the hood, go swimming and shit like that. Well, we had met a homie that was like a neighbor around the hood, and we would kick it with him sometime. Well, I went and kicked it with this nigga. Like after we had sex or whatever, one time he was asleep in the crib, and I would just go out the sliding door and go like down to the park or whatever and like play basketball with everybody. And one time, one of the homies that we were okay with, but I was really more so cool with him. After the basketball match, I had rode him on my pegs back to his house. Well, on my way taking him back to his house, riding him back to the house, Frank came around. And yeah, that's his real name. Shit, I'm not gonna sit here and cap, like, it don't even matter. I don't even care. He comes around, he catches me, and I remember the look on his face, y'all. Like he saw me with this nigga on the pegs, and he was so mad. Like he was just like, and he was just like, "All right, I got you." And like that's what he would always say whenever I would do something that he didn't like, and that meant basically I wouldn't get no ass that night, because we would literally fuck every night. After the first time we did it, we would fuck every night. And so that time he was just like, "Yeah, I got you." And I was just like, "What you mean?" Like, "All right, cool. Well, all right." So I just took him back, and then I get back to the house. Well, y'all, I don't know if it was that night or the next day, but I was asleep on my bed, and all I remember is waking up to both of these niggas at the foot of my bed playing the game. And I was just like, I woke up and I was just like, the fuck? All right, cool. Like, I just didn't expect him to be, because he had never came to the house. Like, I didn't ever bring dude to the house. So I was just like, what is the dude in the house for? And especially since you was mad. But anyway, they playing the game. And so I wake up, I see them playing the game, and dude, like, he was like, he told dude, like, basically, like, that he had to go or whatever. And so dude's walking out of my house, and Frank is like, yeah, so since you want to, like, chill with this nigga and shit or whatever, like, you need to beat him up. And I was like, what you mean? Like, he was like, beat this nigga up or I'm gonna beat you up. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, y'all, I'm a kid. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I'm just like, all right. I'm like, all right, cool, fine. I'll beat him up, bro. Like, chill. And so while he was walking out, like, I caught him as he was coming out, like, getting on his bike and shit. And y'all, I will never forget, like, this was the most fucked up shit, but y'all, like, he just made me, like, I just swung on him and, like, I just beat the little boy up, and he was so scared. Like, he didn't understand what was going on because he thought we was, like, we were just all cool. Like, we was all cool with him. And it was like, nah, like, my dude, like, making me beat you up, bro. Like, because he don't like that I was chilling with you. Like, like, that shit was crazy. But, yeah, I beat the nigga up for him. And right after that, he was just like, yeah, like, nigga don't ever have no other nigga on your pegs and shit. And I was like, all right. Y'all, I'm not making this up. This is facts, y'all. My first made me beat up a dude that I had just had on my pegs riding with him. I wasn't even trying to fuck with the dude. I wasn't on no, like, fucking with no other, like, I wasn't on no, like, gay shit for real. That was just some shit between me and him as far as I was concerned, you know? But yeah, he did not like that shit. So I'm gonna call you right back, bro. Damn, bro, quit calling me. All right. So the last time I seen him, I had did something to him, like, and that nigga was like, "Yeah, all right, I got you." And like, I was like, "Damn, this nigga mad," but like, y'all, he was so fine to me. I ain't gonna cap. Like, he did set the tone for my whole type. Like, every dude that I've dated after that has been something similar to that, including with the whole dominant attitude and aggressiveness and shit. But I will keep it real with y'all. I was the top the whole time. He never tried to fuck me. He never, like, tried to make me suck his dick or nothing like that. Like, he always just wanted me to fuck him and he wanted to suck my dick. So, yep, nigga got out of jail, got 3 baby mamas, and was always in and out of jail. So I could never really see him after that. And I remember on the way back from Wichita that last time when his mom got married and we went to her wedding, and I did not see him, and I was so excited to see him, and I did not see him. I just cried, like, on the, like, to the side like this while my mom was driving. She didn't even know I was crying. I played that shit off so goddamn cool, but I was crying like a motherfucker. Like, it was like soft tears, like just tears was coming out of my eyes, and I was just crying like, damn, like, I ain't never gonna see this nigga again. Like, I was just so sad. And so, yeah, y'all, that's a story about how it was with my first boy. All right, so now moving over to my first girl. I might have to split these videos in two, but yeah, moving on to my first girl. I was. This was actually in the midst of me waiting on him, but I could not. Like I said, he was always in trouble, so I could never see him. Like, so I was just like, fuck it, I'm done waiting on him. And I wasn't talking to no, I wasn't actually interested in no other dudes. I wasn't actually really attracted to dudes yet until later, and I'll get there. And so I was talking to this girl named Adriana, and she had like a big crush on me. I met her in church, and then we ended up going to the same high school. And she always had a crush on me, but I never would entertain her because I just was like waiting on him, basically. And one day I finally just was like, fuck it, let me try it with a girl and see how this is. And basically, I snuck her in. This is when I was staying with my papa at this time. And I snuck her in. This was my freshman year. Or was I in middle school still? I think I was 14. I lost my virginity to, okay, my first boy at 12 or 13, and then my girl at 13 or 14. It was like a year or two apart. And so I snuck her in the basement. I had my own room upstairs. I get her upstairs. And I just remember that was natural as well. I just went straight in. Like, we was kissing, and I got to I slap my dick on her pussy. Like that's always the thing with me. Like when it comes to pussy, is it's like all I gotta do is just like put my dick on the pussy, and all of a sudden my dick just gets so fucking hard. Like, and I just started going in and stroking, and she was a virgin too. So both the people I lost my virginity to were also virgins as well. And she always was like, before that had happened, we were always on the phone late night, talking up until we fell asleep and like all that. She became like my high school crush in that first, like my high school sweetheart that first, from my 8th grade year to my freshman year in high school. And so, yeah, she always was talking about it. We was always talking about it. And then finally we did it. And it just came natural. Like, I got up in that pussy, and I'm talking about I got to fucking her every day after that. Like, it was nonstop. And she fell in love with me, and it was fun, but I wasn't really like into her as much as she was into me. And then I moved on from her to this other girl named Ebony, and these other girls. I had sex with a good like handful, like about 5, 6 girls in high school after that. And it was always natural to me. I never had a problem getting hard and shit. Like the stories that I be hearing about with other dudes, like that's how I be knowing like I'm really bisexual and I don't care what nobody say. Like I never had a problem with either one. It was always natural to me to penetrate. And but like on the backstory with Adriana, she was a friend of the family. I knew her in church, and she was crazy about me. And yeah, I don't regret either one of them. They were both very fun. I loved them, loved it. I never had any bad experiences with my sex life. Thank God. Um, yeah. I mean, shit, I don't really know what else to say about that. But I didn't mess around with no dudes. Like I was so stuck on Frank that I didn't mess around with no dudes. I was literally waiting on him just to get out of jail and shit. And then when he did, and I found out he was messing with girls and he had got all them girls pregnant and shit. He had all them teen pregnancies going on at the same time and shit. I was just like, yeah, he ain't. I didn't even think he liked dudes no more or whatever. So that's what made me start. Like, and I didn't mess around with my second dude. So I lost my virginity to a dude at 12 or 13. I didn't mess around with my second dude. I didn't catch my second male body until I was 19, y'all. Like I had graduated from high school, and that's when I moved out here to Denver. And then that's when I ended up meeting this Puerto Rican dude, and that's when he was my second body, my second male body. I had did my first dude, and then I had did like 6 girls in high school. Like throughout my high school, I didn't touch one dude in high school. I knew that I was attracted to dudes though, because there was this one dude named Juan P. I'll never forget. Rest in peace to him. But like if it wasn't for him, I didn't even know if I was even like attracted to dudes, because he was the only dude that I was attracted to in high school. And like I had the biggest crush on him. I felt like he had a crush on me too, because we was always staring at each other and doing the whole like looking away quick and shit. But we never messed around. But yeah, once I got out of high school and came out here to Denver, then that's when I ended up meeting my second body, a dude. And then after that, it's like I was kind of going back and forth between dudes and girls, but I started feeling bad about it. And also, just to throw in there, Adriana, when she did find out about me being bisexual later, she never had a problem with it. Like she never judged me. Like she's actually still to this day, we still cool. She might even call me randomly, talk to me about her relationship with her new dude or her husband or whatever, and like just ask me for advice and shit. Like, me and her still got a cool bond, So she also said, if I wanted to have a baby, like she was willing to have my baby and shit, but I didn't want to have no baby around that time. I don't want to have no babies until I'm like until I got in my 30s. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, but she was cool with it. Like, and there has been females that I did mess with that did have a problem with it, because my first love, like Ebony, she had a problem with it. Like when I saw her later, she was just like, she did not like, she was not fucking with me. Like she act like she didn't even like really know me. But Adriana, she was hella cool about it, and uh, she said she always loved me anyway, and it don't even matter. Like she liked me for me, so it don't even matter to her, you know. So like that's just to throw out there, let y'all know that all girls is not gonna have such a problem with it when they find out, but some of them will, you know. But you just got to be man enough to know that, like, you got to walk in your truth and be confident who you are, because when you a badass nigga, when you a dope ass nigga and real nigga, people gonna fuck with you if they real anyway, you know. But yeah. So yeah, I'll get into all that later. But yeah, I just wanted to make this video so that y'all could see what my first encounters was sexually with a male and a female. And that's it for this one. Because Kelzo say so. And I will see you on the next one. Peace.